Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in this world. This is Agent Lee with a morning update for Bitcoin. The WXYXZ is a triple combination. Each swing has a subcomposition of three waves. So you can see the ABC, 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 so on. The final three swing, I've now just changed it to an ABC instead of WXY because I think it better meets what could be an ending diagonal of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The range still remains to be the 5,200 to 4,700 levels. The rationale for that, at least from a support and resistance perspective, is showing that in this white circle, in this support zone, was able to hold up the price for 9 months or so, 9+ months. I think the next support zone coming up will be a lot more robust, and it will be a lot more difficult to penetrate beneath or even to the middle of it. Thereby, the 5,200 to 4,700 range is also a Fibonacci zone of how much is decline up, and the final decline. I believe it was a 0.78 Fibonacci to 0.88 Fibonacci, 0.88 being 4,700. So if this support was able to hold it for 9+ months, I think this support should be a lot more robust and hold it pretty well. The breaking of this decline, I don't think, could happen in this region right here. Okay, and that probably is where the 5,200 will come in. And that kind of makes sense if you look, since I've done the Fibonacci relationships of the decline, rise, and decline, projected decline to 5,200, it makes sense that this small region remaining right here, okay, could provide the braking system needed for the termination of this decline and allow this to be the capitulation needlework, just like what we had here back in early February. That was a pretty good capitulation, but it did not suffice clearly as the end of the correction. Thereby, let's see how the price plays out as the price reaches the 5,300, and if it goes below the 50, right now that's what is being held up by right here. This yellow zone is holding it up. Then I think it's going to, if it does surpass the 5,200 region, we have this support zone that should put in a lot more of a braking system. And what I mean by that is if this was able to hold up for 9 months, I think this will perform as a support in a more stronger or robust manner, which is why the bottom is likely to be in this region. Okay. Now, in the event all of this gets sliced through, then we've got the next major support, which is even bigger than the prior 3 regions of supports. And to me, this means that this support is very close to this, at least from a semi-logarithmic charting perspective, but not in price, would be the next support for the price and the bears to be able to bring down. But you have to understand, the way I see it is this bear market is late in its stage. It is highly matured. It is aged, very aged. Okay, and this final capitulation is probably a replication of this, but it'll likely be the bottom pegging or stabbing of the bottom. So if we do a close-up, I still think that we are in this ending diagonal mode where the price will be moving probably within contracting trend lines like you see here. So if we have 1, 2, 1, 3, it could pierce the trend line temporarily. Let's say it goes to like 51.48. Sorry, I'll bring that to 5,200. Okay, so it'll pierce to 5,200, rise back up for wave 4, and then put in the final decline towards 4,700. I don't think the way this shows that 5,200 will be the bottom. It could be. It's possible. It's possible that it could stab down and come right back up. Someone keeps saying Marius, some guy named Marius Landman, whoever he is, whatever method he uses, is calling for a bullish run coming up for whatever, and I don't know what time frame. Someone is mentioning the fake Satoshi guy, etc., etc. I think during times like this, one thing that you might really want to do is not get on that guru buffet line. I know when you feel panicky or nervous or scared by declines of this type, you're trying to reach out for anyone else who can pretty much tell you what you want to hear. And I don't think that's the best thing that you will be benefiting from in times like this. Number one, you have to be disciplined. And not everyone is amenable to this type of emotional challenges. However, I can tell you it does get easier with more experience of having gone through these kinds of corrections. So you really want to remain focused. Stay with one analyst if you like. I think that I recommend that at this time. Stay with one analyst, and that usually should be yourself. If you are not yet in the capacity to be your own analyst, then pick one analyst and stick with that one person that you feel has the capacity, experience, and the ability to help you support through this kind of correction. That way you're not shooting from the hips. That way you become a lot more focused. Okay? So I don't think this 5,200 will be the bottom. I think we're going down to the 4,700. And everything in the cryptosphere will be going down with it. However, I am surprised in having done a quick scan that BMX, which is a new exchange token, in dollar terms, it's not even worth 3 cents or what have you, has been holding up quite well, to my very interesting surprise. Now, the ABC, once it is finished, I think we need to look at it from a fractal perspective. Now, yesterday or last night, I put this in. If we zoom in here, and this is a weekly chart, look at this, okay? This was a stab. Look at this. Look how long the wick. What I mean by the wick is a very thin stick on the price bar. That's what I mean by the wick. And we had a final in 2014 correction, 2014-15 correction. We had a final decline that stabbed it right through, but came right back up on a weekly basis. Now the week for this week ends this Saturday evening, I believe. But regardless, for the week, the body of the candle is completely red. I can assure you, before the price went climbing right back up again, this whole thing was red as well. The body of this whole candle was looking just like this. Okay? But by the end of the week, it climbed right back up. Now, can we do the same thing from a fractal perspective? I think so. I'm expecting that to happen. So that for the week, we decline to 4,700. Okay, 4,900. We peak temporarily, even pierce through this, but price can come right back up, so that what you end up is will be looking something like this. That's what I'm looking for. That would be ideal to see. So the price comes down to 4,700. Let it do what it has to do. Or let the people shouting and calling out the manipulators or whoever they are, or the weak hands, or the whales, or the Bitcoin Cash fork that's coming up, and the war that is going between them, and whoever's got the million Bitcoin wallet is cashing out to fight that war, according to the Bitcoin IRA people. The second most common thing that people do when these kind of corrections occur is they try to rationalize it. They try to associate it with an event or news, and by then it's too late, because there are too many possibilities. However, that's pretty much what he means when he says news and events will arrive to justify the projection. So let's see how this weekly candle on the price travels for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, and let's see if it does this and then it makes a climb back up. Now it could be in this way, maybe it could look like this, what have you, but having a long wick, a lengthy wick in the bottom will be very nice to see. So overall, nothing has changed in this fractal assessment. Nothing has changed. I think the proximity to the final turn is just that much closer. And as you can see here, there was a multi-month rise in price that took place right after that stab and the wick. And I think if we get the same wick here, so this wick is pretty critical. It's very critical. We need to see a wick being formed. So let's see what happens. This support line, I think, will be must hold. Okay, and as I said, if this support line is decisively taken out on my trading account, I will consider putting in stops at certain places, but I won't get into that yet right now. But it'll have to do with these kind of levels over here. Okay. However, the price at which a point it touches the purple line, if you look at the right hand side, is $5,204. Okay. And if we move it to the end of the week, let's say, it'll move to $5,247, somewhere in that range. So I put 5,200. I think, however, unless price gets there, it'll come back at one more week, maybe, and drive it down one more time to 4,700. Okay, and then pierce it back. Whichever way it plays out, I couldn't care less, as long as it stabs out the bottom. Now, remain calm and be disciplined. Don't go on the guru buffet line, because all you end up is with giggle. Garbage in, garbage out. Even in doing this time, people were panicking the hell out of it. Okay, and now we are here, and I don't think it's any different. It's so repeatable and predictable on people's reactions. All right, I'll be again posting a good number of midday updates, so hold tight for that. Have a good, patient day.